It was a regular evening after a long day at work, and I came home exhausted, hoping for a warm meal and some comfort. Instead, when I asked my wife if she had made dinner, she looked at me coldly and said, "You're grown up, make your own food. I'm not your maid." Her words hit me harder than I expected. It wasn't just about food, it felt like a rejection, like I didn't matter in my own home. I stood there in silence, holding back my frustration. I had worked overtime to make sure our bills were paid, yet I was being told I was on my own. In my mind, marriage had always been about partnership, about supporting one another. But in that moment, it felt like we were two strangers living under the same roof. Instead of arguing, I quietly went into the kitchen and cooked myself a simple meal. She didn't even bother to join me, just scrolled through her phone on the couch. I tried to ignore the ache in my chest, but I couldn't shake the thought that something had changed between us. Where there used to be warmth and love, now there was coldness and distance. That night, I lay awake thinking about our relationship. This wasn't the first time she had dismissed me like that. Over the past few months, her attitude had grown colder. She rarely smiled at me, rarely asked how my day was. I kept wondering what I had done wrong, or if she even wanted to be with me anymore. The next morning, I decided to confront her. I asked her if she was unhappy with me or with our marriage. She shrugged and said, "I just don't want to feel like a servant. You can handle things yourself." Her tone was sharp, but beneath it I sensed resentment. I wanted to argue, but instead I simply nodded and left for work with a heavy heart. Days turned into weeks, and the tension only grew. I started cooking for myself, cleaning for myself, and even eating alone. It felt like I was living in a roommate situation rather than a marriage. I missed the laughter we used to share, the little acts of care, the feeling of being wanted. One evening, I came home early and overheard her on the phone with her friend. She was complaining about me, saying I was boring, predictable, and that she felt trapped. Hearing those words crushed me. All the sacrifices I had made for us suddenly felt invisible. When she noticed me standing there, she looked startled but didn't apologize. Instead, she said, "Well, you heard it. I'm not happy, and I don't think I've been for a long time." My chest tightened, but I managed to ask, "Then why are you still here?" She didn't answer. That silence told me everything. She didn't love me anymore, and maybe she hadn't for a while. Her coldness wasn't just frustration, it was detachment. I realized I had been holding on to a version of her that no longer existed. That night, I packed a bag and stayed at a hotel. I needed space to think, to breathe, to decide whether this marriage was worth saving. I had given her my loyalty, my effort, my heart, but in return I was treated like a burden. That wasn't the life I wanted. The next day, I wrote her a letter explaining how I felt. I told her that marriage was about partnership, not servitude, and that I had never expected her to be my maid. I just wanted love and companionship. I ended the letter by saying that if she no longer wanted this marriage, I was ready to let go. When she read it, she didn't fight, she didn't cry, she just said, "Maybe it's for the best." That confirmed my decision. I filed for divorce, choosing my peace over constant coldness. It hurt to walk away from someone I had once loved deeply, but I realized that love without respect and care is empty. Her words, "I'm not your maid," had been the start of the truth unraveling. And while it was painful, it set me free to find a life where warmth and respect could exist again. Months after the divorce, I had started to rebuild my life. I focused on myself, worked harder, and even found peace in small things. One evening, out of nowhere, my ex-wife called me. Her voice was shaky as she said, "I didn't realize what I had until it was gone. I thought you were just demanding, but you only ever wanted love. I regret pushing you away." I listened quietly, but the truth was, her words came too late. The love I once had for her had been buried under all the coldness and neglect. She admitted that she missed the stability, the care, and the loyalty I gave her, and that no one else treated her the way I did. For the first time, she realized I wasn't asking for a maid, I was asking for a partner. I told her calmly, "I hope you find peace, but I can't go back to living like that." Her regret was real, but it was her burden to carry. I had already moved forward, and this time, I chose myself.